We finally get a first look at Ashton Jeanty and the rest of the rookies in the silver and black. Linebacker Jaylen Smith getting a tryout with the Raiders. The 2025 schedule will be announced soon. And Derek Carr retires from the NFL. Yo, what is up, Raider Nation? It's your boy Samoa Raider back at it again with yet another video. If this is the very first time you guys are coming across the channel and you love Raiders content, then hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon button to notify you guys when I upload more videos just like this. We are close to 50K subscribers on the channel, so if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. With that said though, let's get started with the video, man. Of course, you guys already know that the Raiders rookies finally got to come into the building. Today was the first official day of Raiders rookie minicamp, meaning that we get to see the likes of Ashton Jeanty in the silver and black. We get to see Jack Bech out there catching balls. We get to see Dante Thornton. We got to see Caleb Rogers. We got to see all these rookies that we drafted this year, and a draft that I would say definitely stole the show on draft night. Since the NFL draft, the Raiders have been getting nothing but praise from every which way, and rightfully so. And it's great to see that, you know, Pete Carroll is out there just hyping up the rest of this class, hyping up everybody, and you could see it in these training drills that he's out there. Heck, he got 2 gloves out there. I don't even know what he's doing out there with 2 gloves, but you know damn well that Pete Carroll is getting active out there, and he's definitely bringing that energy and hoping that the rookies could bring that same energy as well. With that said though, of course, like my last video, I want to give a shout out to all the media that was out there at Raiders rookie minicamp that got to record some clips, that got to share with the Raider Nation on Twitter, on YouTube, wherever it may be. But we got to see a little bit of an insight of how the rookies look out there, and I can definitely say that it gets me hyped up, and it really is great to see a lot of these rookies out there in the silver and black. Heck, I feel like everybody looks good in the silver and black. First up, let's talk about Ashton Jeanty. Of course, that was going to be the main guy that was highlighted at minicamp today, and I don't think he disappointed at all. Now, I'm not going to lie, my boy's really short. I got to meet him at the Super Bowl, and he's not one of the tallest guys out there, but that does not matter. This dude is just stocky as hell, and just seeing him out there running through the drills, looking silky, getting through the bags, he just looks hella fluid out there, and it kind of gets me excited because now I'm like, man, I can't wait to see the full pads on, and I can't wait to see how they do or how they look during preseason. But like I said, Ashton Jeanty looking shifty as ever, looking like the #1 pick for the Raiders in this year's draft. Heck, even the day before, I know a lot of Raider Nation was hyped up from a short clip between him and JPJ where they both got to meet each other, and it's great to see that JPJ, you know, is looking out for the new rook.
What's up, Jackson? I'm your center. Nice to meet you, man. I love it, dude. Welcome, bro.
And I'm not gonna lie, that clip definitely got me hyped up. That's how you know it's the offseason, when we all are hyped up about the smallest things. I mean, that was like a 5-second video, and I know damn well everybody was kind of turned up after that. Now, looking at another clip of everybody kind of running through and doing warm-ups, you could just hear all the energy out there. You could hear Pete Carroll kind of hyping everybody up, which hypes us up as well. And I can just only imagine how everybody is feeling over there. And there's been a lot of players that came out and said that, you know, they were USC fans, they were Pete Carroll fans before they came over here, but the fact that they get to come over here and their first head coach is Pete Carroll is crazy in itself. There's also another clip of Pete Carroll dapping up Laki Tassi, and damn, Big Oos is definitely a big Oos. I know that he's over here on the IPP program, but I mean, the sky's the limit for him. If he's able to use that body and use that quickness and turn into something over here in Las Vegas, man, I think it'd be perfect for this team, especially for the defensive line that we have over here. Now, another person that I want to kind of highlight was our 2nd round pick, and Jack Bech. Definitely somebody that's been getting a lot of praise at minicamp today. Now, I got one really nice clip of him just running through the motion, and he just looks silky as well. He looks like a guy that's out there just making the most of his opportunity. And he did say that we are getting a 2-for-1 special with him, with Tiger and Jack. But he's a guy that I'm really excited for watching on the offensive side of the ball. Quick shout out to Vinny being the place to be. He tweeted out earlier today that his first impressions of Raiders Jack Bech, he's a baller. Levi Edwards also tweeted, small highlight from Raiders rookie minicamp, Jack Bech just caught a really nice jump ball in the corner of the end zone from former UNLV quarterback Haj Malik Williams. Now, I kind of wish that we could see that clip, but hey, I'll take his word for it. Now, speaking of Haj Malik Williams out of UNLV, he's one of those guys that could be an underrated quarterback for us. Now, I know we only drafted one quarterback in this draft with Cam Miller, and Tommy Malot's going to be a wide receiver, but Haj Malik is a guy to definitely keep an eye on, especially a UNLV alum that's definitely going to get his chance to at least show what he has. We got to see a bit of a clip of him and Cam Miller just throwing the ball, and I know that there's really not much there, but hey, the sky's the limit for both of them. Now, looking at this clip right here, we get a little bit of Dante Thornton Jr. going through the drills. Really tall receiver, and you could tell that, you know, he's still pretty solid there. Of course, we see a little bit of Tommy Millott here, quarterback turned wide receiver, and honestly, I don't know how you cannot say that he doesn't remind us or remind anybody of Julian Edelman. Just the way he's out there running routes. Now, moving on to the defensive side of the ball, we didn't really get to see a lot of clips there, or I didn't get to capture any of them or grab any of them, but one guy that we got to see a little bit of was Darian Porter, who definitely is one of my favorite picks in this year's draft in the 3rd round. Of course, you can see the size and length there. I can only imagine what he's going to do when he gets his opportunity to go out there and ball out on the defensive side of the ball. Now, the Raiders did have a bit of a presser with Jack Bech, Ashton Jeanty, and Darian Porter, and Caleb Rogers as well. But I want to highlight some of the things that they said in their presser. First, starting off with Jack Bech and talking about his role on the team. Also was asked about who he kind of models his game after. And it definitely is what everybody's been comparing him to, you know, a little bit of Puka Nacua and a little bit of Cooper Kupp.
You know, it's going to be whatever role the coaches need me to play. You know, I'm here to play my role. I'm here to help the team win. You know, it's a team-first mentality. Whatever I can do to help the team win, I'm going to do. So whatever role that's carved out and the coaches want me to do, I'm going to do to the best of my ability. You know, I definitely like breaking down the guys like Puka, you know, just how he uses his body to get open. You know, he doesn't dance around a whole lot. You know, he attacks the leverage of the body. You know, he'll maybe give him a 1-2 or something like that. But he uses big physical presence, his physical ability to get open. And the different guys like Kupp, you know, just the way he understands the game, the nuance of the game, which, you know, is something I'm always going to strive to get better at each and every day for my whole career. Then just different guys who run routes, some of the best route runners in the league. You know, people like Amari Cooper and Justin Jefferson.
Now, I definitely see some of the similarities there, but hey, if Jack Bech could do what Puka has been able to do over there in LA, over here in Las Vegas, on top of what we expect out of him, and knowing that this wide receiver class right now, our wide receiver room at least, is really kind of light right now, with an opportunity of somebody to take over that wide receiver 2 role, which I think Jack Bech would do wonders in. Now, moving on to Ashton Jeanty and Darian Porter, they both have some high praise for head coach Pete Carroll.
Yeah, you know, he's dope. He's everything everybody says he is. You know, attention to detail. You know, just a great coach, great energy, great personality, and you know, I'm excited to continue building a relationship with him.
You know, I think it's awesome to have, you know, your head coach, you know, out there, you know, giving you that one-on-one, you know, or with the other cornerbacks, giving you that kind of those tips with his gloves on. You know, he's out there working on his press, you know, so it's funny, but, you know, I really appreciate it. And, you know, to see that kind of energy in rookie minicamp this early, you know, in the process is awesome. You know, I was a big fan of Pete Carroll. I grew up a USC fan, so I was watching, you know, him in the early to mid 2000s with USC. So for me, it's kind of surreal, you know, to have this kind of come full circle for me. Now he's my, you know, head coach in the NFL. I grew up watching USC, so it's just crazy. You know, it kind of caught him at the end of his tenure in Seattle, but Tariq Woolen, you know, I mean, Richard Sherman's very similar, you know, both tall, long guys, but, you know, I think athletically I fit a little bit more Tariq than Richard Sherman.
Now, I like the fact that Darian Porter actually said that even with all the comparisons with him and Richard Sherman, that he sees himself more as a Tariq Woolen than he is a Richard Sherman in Pete Carroll's defense. But with all that being said, though, Raider Nation, of course, you guys can hear the excitement out of my voice. I know it's just day one, and I'm an optimistic Raider fan. What can I say? How do you guys feel about this rookie class? How do you guys feel about day one of minicamp? Are you guys hyped up? Who's one player that you guys are excited to see finally play in the silver and black? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, moving on to some other bit of news. According to Adam Schefter, he reported that former Cowboys and Giants linebacker Jaylen Smith, who last played in the NFL in 2023, is participating this weekend in the Raiders minicamp on a tryout basis. Ironically enough, he's going to be coming back to Vegas to at least get a tryout, and I don't think it hurts the team at all. As you guys may know, he already has that rapport, he has that relationship with Patrick Graham with his time over there in the New York Giants, and knowing that the Raiders can use any kind of linebacker on the defensive side of the ball with who we brought into the team, whether in the draft or in free agency, it doesn't hurt to add Jaylen Smith. And if he's able to go out there and do something, which I highly doubt he will, I know he's been dealt a lot of injuries in his past career, and he does have some upside, but I know he's at the back half of his career. I just don't think it would hurt to add any kind of body to the linebacker room. But what are your thoughts, Raider Nation? Let me know again down in the comments below. The Raiders, according to Eddie Pascal, will be announcing their 2025 regular season schedule next week on Wednesday, May 14th. I'm happy that we finally get a day, and I'm really excited to see what they do in this year's schedule release. I'm excited to see who we're going to play as the home opener. I'm excited to see when we're going to play the Cowboys, and I'm excited to see, of course, who we're going to play in the AFC West, when and where, and if we're going to get any kind of primetime game. Especially going to keep an eye on the Chargers game, because we know Jim Harbaugh with Pete Carroll, they got that rivalry going on, so it's going to be really interesting to see how that all pans out. Now, I know last year, man, the Big Oos got to be a part of the schedule release, so hey, I don't know what they were able to do this year. I wasn't called to come over to do the schedule release, but at the end of the day, I know that this is going to be some fun. It's definitely going to be a fun day to see what goes down. Now, maybe in the next couple of days, I'll probably drop a schedule release prediction and see who and where I would see the Raiders playing each and every single week. And when the schedule does drop, maybe I'll do a prediction video on what our record could be. But with that said, again, Raider Nation, if you guys had to choose the opener week 1 for the Raiders to face off with, who would it be? Let me know down in the comments below. Now, the last thing I do want to talk about is Derek Carr. Whether you like him or not, this news is a little bit sad. According to Tom Pelissero, he broke the news early this morning that former Las Vegas Raiders quarterback Derek Carr has announced his retirement from the NFL due to career-ending shoulder injury. After 11 seasons, Derek Carr will walk away from the game of football. Carr, at 34 years old, recently underwent multiple medical evaluations on his shoulder. Surgery was deemed the only route back to 100%, and that would mean up to 6 months of recovery. Carr retires rather than staying on IR all year. Now, this is really bittersweet though. You know, like I said earlier, whether you like him or not, what he did in the silver and black will never go unnoticed, man. He definitely gave the Raider Nation a lot of memories, you know, a lot of ups and a lot of downs. And I can definitely say that there's a lot of great memories, man. With that 2016 season, of course, that was crazy in itself. Everything that he was able to do. I still remember when he did that front flip over that Saints defender in the first game of that season. And then you look at the KC game on Thursday Night Football when we were able to come back and win in that game. And then moving on to 2021, where he had that iconic timeout to end and seal the game against the Chargers, man. I wish nothing but the best for Derek Carr and his family, because at the end of the day, once a Raider, always a Raider. So much respect, though. Until the next video, this your boy Simone Raider, and your boys, yeah.